Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to Japan for the 17th and final round of the 2001 Formula 1 season. Yes, guys, this is it, the final race of the season, and there's still so much left undecided. But mainly, we still don't know where we will be in the standings, and we don't know who the champion will be. But we shall definitely find out at the end of this race. Furthermore, this is our last drive for BAR, and despite that, we will give it our all. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Located approximately 70 kilometers southwest of Nagoya, the exciting Suzuka circuit combines two medium-speed straights with a technical arrangement including a hairpin, as well as fast-sweeping and 90-degree turns. Owned by Honda, Suzuka has a somewhat unique figure-of-eight layout, causing the track to cross over itself.
And we start off qualifying with a bang. We are coming out of the S section, I dip the front left into the grass, spinning me around, and that's pretty much it for this run. On the second try, I managed to actually complete the flying lap, so we crossed the line in 1:45.406. Which is quite bad, but at least I managed to put in a qualifying lap this time. On the third run, I was coming through the spoon section, and just as I exit this double apex turn, I again dip my wheels into the grass, spinning me around. So far, this quali wasn't really going very well. And now we only have one more chance since we've used up 9 of our 12 laps. And finally, on the fourth try, we once again managed to put in a lap time. This one was a 1:44.853, still quite abysmal, but after such an appalling session, I was glad I actually managed to put in a lap time.
Hello there. Welcome to Japan for the final round of the 2001 FIA Formula One World Championship. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Michael Schumacher first. Hakkinen consistently outpaced his championship rival. He starts second. Juan Pablo Montoya third. Coulthard fourth. Schumacher fifth. Rubens Barrichello sixth. Kimi Raikkonen seventh. Nick Heidfeld eighth. Frentzen ninth. Eddie Irvine 10th. Jarno Trulli 11th. Jensen Button 12th. Jean Alesi 13th. Verstappen 14th. Olivier Panis was consistently faster than his teammate. He starts 15th. Giancarlo Fisichella 16th. Berti 17th. De La Rosa 18th. Fernando Alonso 19th. Enrique Bernaldi 20th. The BAR driver 21st. Tarso Marquez 22nd.
So, here we are on the grid for the final race of the season. As I said at the very beginning, a lot will be decided this race, most importantly of which is our place in the championship, and also the champion himself. We are off to a very bad start as Marquez slides in front of us. However, as we approach turn 1, we pass both him and his teammate Alonso. Alonso then picks up the pace and passes me and Bertie. And this is the final race for Alain Prost's team, as they will not be joining us on the grid next season. Which is a bit of a shame, but by this point the team was performing quite badly, and if I remember correctly, they also had some financial difficulties. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, here is the start once more. As always, lots of wheel spin on my part, and starting next season I think I'm going to use launch control a bit more. Anyway, we got past Tarso Marquez, but as we're making our way into turn 1, we slid past him and Alonso. But we were caught up behind Bertie, so Alonso passed us both on the outside. We are now riding on board with Heinz-Harald Frentzen. He gets a very good start, but Raikkonen does not, so Frentzen ends up tapping the rear of the Sauber, as they both get passed by quite a few cars. Meanwhile, I managed to pass Alonso and Bertie, and was now looking at the back of Pedro de la Rosa in the Jaguar. We were coming through this fast right-hand kink and into the spoon section. I was slowly closing in on De La Rosa, which is what we want actually. If possible, I would like to finish above Hakkinen to ensure our third place in the championship. And that's easier said than done since he's way up in front and we are quite far back. So we have a bit of catching up to do. Into 130R as we get ever closer to De La Rosa, and as we approach the chicane at the end of the lap, we finally pass De La Rosa. However, he decides to cheat by cutting the corner, and he's once again in front of us, but I think that we can take him on the straight as we are coming around to finish lap 1. And yes, we are indeed through. And up in P18. Next up we have our teammate Panis, who is around 1 second up the road. But we're catching up to him quite quickly as we come into the S's. Quite a difficult section this, as you need to feather the throttle through the winding track, with little to no gear change, and it's not as easy as it sounds. Anyway, Panis is slowly building a gap while De La Rosa is now on our gearbox, and I go wide through that corner, allowing De La Rosa, Alonso and Bertie to pass me. As I said, this section isn't as easy as it looks, so now we have to catch back up to the guys in front. Unfortunately, the longer it takes for us to pass the guys in front, the less time we will have to actually pass them. And I mess up the exit out of Dagner curve, sliding the car around, allowing Marquez to overtake us, so we are now down in 22nd and in serious trouble. We really need to try and put on our A game. I would really hate to lose third place on the last race of the season. It would be quite embarrassing. As we make our way around Marquez, Heidfeld and Irvine had some sort of an accident. Let's have a look. And here they are coming into the spoon. Heidfeld is chasing after Irvine, and as they come through the first part of the turn, Irvine seems to slow down, causing Heidfeld to tap the rear of the Jaguar. Well, it was a bit more than just a tap. And there's still yellow flags being waved around here, and it looks like one of the arrows went off. It's Jos Verstappen, we go around him, but what has happened? And why didn't our engineer slash spotter warn us? That's a bit weird, so let's find out ourselves. And here we have the replay. There's Verstappen with Bernoldi in front and Panis behind. He tapped the rear of his teammate's car, causing Verstappen to lose control, and he also loses quite a few places because of that. I think he was a bit too over-eager to pass his teammate, and that caused him to pay the price. Well, quite a lot has happened during this lap. I made a couple of mistakes, and there were also a couple of incidents. But it was now time to really start pushing. Later on lap 3, we catch up to some of the guys in front. We are having a look at Luciano Berti. He kind of cuts us off, but despite that, we outbrake him into the hairpin. So we are now in P19, and Alonso is next, who we pass a couple of corners later as we are racing down towards 130R. There's an incident between Ralf Schumacher and Barrichello, and my teammate makes contact with the arrows of Enrique Bernoldi and they both go off the track. Ooh, I hope they are alright. That seemed quite violent from where I was. Oh man, it's so discouraging when you witness an accident, even more so when it is your own teammate. Anyway, here are some replays. First off, Ralf Schumacher and Barrichello, they are coming around to finish lap 3. They enter the chicane, Ralf Schumacher drives across the curbs, throwing him into the air a bit, and as his car lands, he loses control and Barrichello taps the Williams slightly. But now for the main event, Bertie and Panis come through 130R. Panis only slightly touches the arrows, but at this speed it's more than enough to send them both flying. And we are now on board with Pedro de la Rosa. Maybe we can see a bit better, only slightly better compared to the view from my car. But yeah, that was really violent. The same thing happened last season between one of the Minardis and one other car, I forgot which one. But yeah, this is pretty much an exact recreation of that crash. Anyway, the team informed me that both Panis and Bernardi are okay, albeit a bit shaken, and that's to be expected. They are actually lucky they got away unharmed. Later on, there was another incident, namely Fisichella made contact with Alesi, so let's have a look. And here is the Benetton of Giancarlo Fisichella. We just saw Alesi coming out of the pits. There he is. They come into turn 1, and since Fisichella was carrying more speed, he crashed into the rear of the Prost of Sean Alesi. Quite a lot has been going on throughout the first half of the race. One can only hope that the second half will be the same, or at least as close as possible, as Mika Hakkinen takes the lead of the race, which is quite a bad news for us, since we are still quite far back. We are actually in the top 10 to be more precise. We're about halfway through lap 9 and we are up in P6, which is good, and Fisichella has another accident. Here is Alesi with his broken rear wing, with Fisichella behind him with his broken front wing. truly passes both of them as they come through the chicane at the end of the lap, and as they accelerate out of the corner, Jos Verstappen drives straight into the rear of Fisichella, adding to the list of retirements. We are now coming in for our own pit stop. We are up in P6, but that's about to change obviously. The question is, will we be able to get back up into 6th, and more importantly, will we be able to finish ahead of Mika Hakkinen? It is absolutely crucial for the championship. If we don't score a single point, then all Hakkinen needs to do is finish 5th, and he would end up 3rd in the standings. And that would be quite a bad thing. So we rejoin in P10, which is not that bad all things considered. We actually only just managed to exit in front of Irvine. If not, we would have been in P11. But it's time to see what we can do from here on. This is lap 10 and we are coming into Spoon, and I completely messed up the entry to the corner, and that is probably the easiest one on the track. So it's quite embarrassing. And now we have extra work on our hands. Coming around to finish lap 10, we are slowly closing back up on Irvine as Coulthard has an accident with Verstappen. So let's have a look. And Rubens Barrichello is just exiting the pits, so we will take his place. So we are back up in P10. Anyway, on to the replay. Here we have Coulthard and Verstappen coming through the S section. Verstappen pulls to the side to let the Scotsman through. However, Coulthard makes slight contact with the arrows, causing his McLaren to spin around. Since he was being lapped, I think that Verstappen should have given Coulthard a bit more room. Anyway, I've now caught up to Irvine, but he got a better exit through the penultimate corner of the S section, so I still have to play catch up with him. Then, on the straight between Spoon and 130R, I managed to overtake him at last, and we are now up in P8, just 2 places below the points. And as the laps were winding down, I was getting more and more tense, since we were nowhere near Mika Hakkinen, and as we entered the chicane, Irvine, just like his teammate during the opening stages of the race, decides to cut the corner to overtake me, and that is what I call cheating. On the other hand, since we stayed on the track, we got a better exit out of the corner and we overtake Irvine once again. Just goes to show that cheating doesn't pay. Or was it crime doesn't pay? Who cares? And Pedro de la Rosa is having problems with his car. On the penultimate lap, no less. Actually, I think he's a couple of laps down. Doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that we have another retirement. And here is the Jaguar of Pedro de la Rosa. He's coming through the Spoon curve with one of the Jordans behind him. And as they exit the corner, de la Rosa's Jaguar starts letting out smoke. And that is it for the Spanish driver. So yeah, we are on the penultimate lap, and thanks to the fact that most of the AI stopped twice, we are now in P6. Unfortunately, we are around 6 seconds behind 5th place Ralf Schumacher, and there just isn't enough time to catch up to him. So we will have to settle for 6th in the race, and as a result, 4th in the championship. A bit disappointing, but what can you do? As we come through 130R for one last time this season, down into the chicane. Overall, I would say that we had a pretty decent season. 4th place is quite impressive considering that the first part of the season was plagued with a lot of bad luck. And even though we didn't finish in the top 3, I flicked the car to the right, giving the team a wave and thanking them for a very memorable season. We have in fact repeated the success of our first season when we drove for Jordan. But it is time to close another chapter in our Formula One career, and I am looking forward to what the future has in store for us. Maybe, just maybe, 2002 will be our big season. Who knows? Only time will tell. Well, before we wrap up this video, let's take one final look at the standings.
That was an unforgettable Japanese Grand Prix. Here are the final results. Michael Schumacher first. Montoya second. Mika Hakkinen third. David Coulthard fourth. Schumacher fifth. The BAR driver sixth. With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship. Michael Schumacher wins the 2001 FIA Formula One World Drivers' Championship.
So, Michael Schumacher wins the 2001 Formula One Championship with an amazing drive today. He finishes the season with 82 points. Coulthard comes in a solid second place with 76 points, so well done to him as well. I really hope that he would win the championship, but it wasn't quite meant to be. In third we have Mika Hakkinen with 51 points. He managed to snatch that third place from us, but that's okay since after all, this is his final season in Formula 1, while we still have plenty more to come. We finished the season in 4th place, just like in 1999 when we drove for Eddie Jordan. Juan Pablo Montoya finished the season in 5th, just 1 point behind us with 48 points, and to round up the top 6 we have Ralf Schumacher with 31 points. So those are the top 6. Further down we have Heidfeld in 7th with 26 points, Barrichello in 8th with 19 points, Irvine in 9th with 13 points, Raikkonen 10th with 12 points, Frentzen 11th with 8 points, Button and Verstappen share 12 with 7 points, teammate Penes is 13 with 2 points, and the last scoring driver is Alonso with 1 point.
McLaren win the 2001 FIA Formula One World Constructors' Championship.
Next we have the Constructors, and it has been won by McLaren quite a while ago in fact. They finished the season with 127 points. Ferrari finished in second with 101 points, quite far behind. Williams finished third with 79 points. Unfortunately, in terms of the Constructors' Championship, we weren't able to repeat the success of 1999. Our team finishes one spot lower this time around, although in 99 we did have Damon Hill as our teammate, so that helped a lot, as opposed to Penes who only scored 2 points this season. Anyway, our team finishes the season in 4th with 51 points, and I'm pretty sure that the team is quite pleased about that. Sauber finished the season in 5th with 38 points, Jaguar are 6th with 13 points, Jordan finished 7th with 8 points, Benetton and Arrows finished 8th with 7 points, and Minardi finished 9th with 1 point, leaving Prost as the only team not to score any points. So that is it for the 2001 season. 4th is not a bad place to be in, and if we didn't have all those problems at the beginning of the season, I'm pretty sure we would have finished in 3rd, maybe even 2nd. Better luck next time, I guess. And there will be quite a few changes when we return in 2002. As you all probably know, Benetton were bought by Renault back in 2000, but have agreed to let them race as Benetton until the end of this season. So, starting next season, Renault will make their official return to F1. And as stated at the start of the race, this was the last one for Prost. Toyota have bought the team, or at least I think that's what happened, right? If not, please feel free to tell me in the comments below. This happened quite some time ago, so my memory is a bit fuzzy. Anyway, Toyota will make their first ever appearance in Formula 1. At least as far as I know, Toyota have never raced in Formula 1 before, I think. Anyway, that's the end of this season. 4th is not bad, but I would have liked to finish at least 3rd. Oh right, some news from the real world. As you probably already know by now, Nico Rosberg announced his retirement on Friday, leaving pretty much everyone dumbfounded as to why he would retire after winning the world title. Or at least some of us were shocked. Lewis Hamilton did say in a press conference that he wasn't all that surprised, so I'm not really sure what's happening there. However, this turn of events left pretty much everyone speculating who will take Rosberg's seat at Mercedes. However, I'm sure we will find out quite soon. Okay, enough rambling because I feel that this video has been going on for long enough. When we next quote-unquote meet, we'll be in Australia for the opening round of the 2001 Formula 1 season, and I'm quite excited to see what the new season will bring us. And I'm also excited to find out what team we will be driving for. And if you haven't done so yet, you still have maybe a couple of hours before I close the poll, so make sure to visit the link in the description below, which will take you to a straw poll where you can vote for next season's team. You have until midnight tonight to do that. That's midnight GMT or 11 PM CET. Anyway, it's really time to end this video, so until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.